Aloha and welcome to the Genie Show. My name is Jeannie Joseph and we have a wonderful show for you. I have the most delightful woman on planet Earth, Dr. Patricia Bragg. She just won Woman of the Year in Santa Barbara for the wonderful lifelong work that she's been doing, carrying on the work of her father, Dr. Paul Bragg. And they are health crusaders, and we're going to be talking about how you can get healthy. All natural ways that you can be healthy just with your daily lifestyle, and we'll learn all about that. So aloha, Patricia. Thank you for being here.
Oh, thank you. I'm thrilled to be back in Hawaii.
And you've been all over in Australia. Where have you been traveling?
Well, I crusaded in every major city of Australia.
Wow.
And I loved it. I loved it. Actually, you know, my father opened, over 75 years ago, opened an office in Sydney and started health food stores all over Australia.
Wow, that's wonderful.
Yes, and then he opened an office in Auckland, New Zealand.
Wow.
And did the same thing.
Great.
I mean, they weren't our health food stores. He inspired other people to open health food stores.
That's terrific.
And now, Australia, Dad always said it's the second America.
Wow.
And actually, it's a little bigger than America.
Wonderful.
In size.
Yes. So we're going to talk about how you can get healthy, how you can take control of your health. What are the foundations of health? Where would you start?
Well, this is it. The Bragg Healthy Lifestyle is simple as this. You are what you eat, what you drink, what you breathe, what you think, with your computer. Woohoo! God gave you a miracle brain, and it's your computer. And then what you say, words are living. Put it to the test before you speak. Is it good? Is it kind? Is it necessary? All right, the next is what you do.
Okay.
What you do. Wow, you have 640 muscles. Genie, and if you don't use them, you lose them.
Yes.
And physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, and even financially during troubled times. You have to balance your life.
Yes.
So what you do with your life is important.
It is.
And especially what you say, put it to the test.
Yeah, that's so important. What you say has such an impact on your life.
Oh, it can ruin your life. It can ruin a marriage. You can lose your job if you have a big argument with your boss.
Right. Yeah.
So put it to the test. Woo! Is it good? Is it kind? Is it necessary?
I like that. Is it good? Is it kind if it's necessary? Otherwise, forget it. Right.
That's right. That's right.
That's a good test.
My father, Paul Bragg, of course, you know, over 103 years ago, started health food stores. Oh, they said that man, Paul Bragg's crazy. You can eat anything you want, smoke anything you want. Oh, no. Listen, the whiter the bread, the sooner you're dead.
Wow.
Yes. You know, they take all the good out of it. They bleach it out.
And now they've got the GMO and all the wheat, so
oh,
it's just...
my dear, we're against GMOs, we're against fluoridation. We want everything simple and natural.
Simple and natural.
Oh, yes. My dad came to Hawaii in 1920.
1920.
He met the famous Duke Kahanamoku at the Olympics. And my father was a swimmer, biker, runner. He was the original triathlete. In fact, I wrote the 600-page triathlon training manual.
Wow.
Gee, about 18 years ago, and I had Dave Scott, who followed my teachings, and he's won 6 Ironman triathlons. And he called my book, triathlon book, the Book of Health and Fitness.
That's great. That's great.
And so guess what? All of you out there, you can be the captain of your life. Before you put it in your fuel tank, put it to the test. What is it going to bring you? Health or sickness?
Right, right.
You want to go organic, don't panic. You don't want to eat a lot of chemicals and pesticides.
Right.
White bread.
Let's talk a little bit about circulation, because I know you feel that that's the foundation.
Oh, my God.
And I know you've corrected your friends when they cross their legs. When ladies do that, you tell them not to cross their legs.
I never cross my legs. Never.
And tell us why that's so important.
Well, you have a major artery in back of each knee. And when you sit with your legs crossed, it puts a burden on your heart. And your heart says, oh, I can't get the blood down to that foot. And you know what? You'd be sitting watching the telly, and what happens? The foot goes to sleep. You know, this friend of mine, orthopedic surgeon in L.A., he said, Patricia, there's more people that break a hip or a leg when they're sitting for hours watching the television at night, and they forget, their foot goes to sleep, they get up, and they fall, and they end up in the hospital. But I want to share with them right now.
Okay, you're going to show us your exercise?
Everybody, what you do, it's very simple.
Okay.
This is it. What you're going to do, listen to this now. For every hour you sit in front of the telly, 5 minutes of it, I want you to get up and do stationary jogging. And here it is. Woohoo! Woohoo! And you watch the telly, do it barefooted, do it barefooted. And now another thing, just for just remember, every hour, 5 minutes of it, you're going to get up and do right there in front of the telly. You can still watch it.
So for even 5 minutes will get your circulation
Oh
going?
my golly, circulation is one of the keys to good health.
Okay.
Oh yes, you need that.
Uh-huh.
I have 70 trillion cells, and I'm a miniature 5 feet tall, 100
Right.
pounds. But I want to show you another thing.
Okay.
I have millions of people doing the windmill exercise, the Bragg windmill exercise. Look at this.
Okay.
Woo, woo. You know what a windmill does?
Yes.
Wow. The air. Listen to this. You can feel it circulating. Oh, the windmill brings the water up from the ground. And what you're doing, you're bringing your energy right up with that windmill exercise. Do it about 2 minutes mid-morning, 2 minutes mid-afternoon.
Okay.
And when you get off work,
Uh-huh.
you can do it and your energy comes right up. It's amazing.
So just those two things alone, the jogging in place, the windmill
It's
exercise.
wonderful.
And
And
show
now-
us, you have a special one for the ladies,
Oh,
right?
yes, I want to show you. You know, my father taught me years ago, there's a book called Dress to Kill.
Mm-hmm.
And it's talked about breast cancer and wire bras. And I've never worn a bra. And everything stands up by itself. Look at this. Left, right, left, right, up, down, left, right, up, down. And you know, I even had Jane Russell doing it, and she cut out, years ago, her wires in the bras, cut them out. You don't need them.
Yeah.
Now, all of you out there right now, grab your wrist, about between wrist and elbow, grab it like this. Hard, hard. Feel that, pinch that, Genie.
Yeah.
Woo!
Yeah.
That's what you're putting with a wired bra around below your bust, ladies.
Yes. Very unhealthy to be
So-
wearing a wire.
That's what
It's
I
just-
want you to do. You start doing the bust exercises and come to the Bragg exercise class.
Now let's talk about this exercise class. This has been going on for 40 years for free in Waikiki.
Yes,
and
here
everyone-
it is.
Okay, so people can go, anyone can just show up, they just arrive?
Yeah, but my dear, it's 6 days a week. Guess what?
What time?
9 to 10:30.
9 to
And
10:30.
all free.
All free.
Going on 43 years.
So if you're in Hawaii, this is Fort DeRussy in Waikiki.
Right next to the Army Museum.
Right next to the Army
And by
Museum.
the way, if you haven't been to the Army Museum, you should see it.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
It is amazing what they have done. They have the history there, the early history of Honolulu.
Yeah, everything. The
And
whole,
so
both wars.
It
Both
is
wars.
wonderful.
Yes.
So I suggest, please come. It's every day except Sunday, 9 to 10:30. 9 to 10:30.
And you
and
don't
we-
have to be in good shape, right? You can start
Oh,
at
my
any
dear,
level.
we have
right.
people come in wheelchairs. We
Uh-huh.
have mothers bring their babies, and there's parking across the way for a small charge. Small charge. And if you go to the Army Museum, they validate so that charge is even smaller.
Okay, okay.
And so it's very wonderful. And then you can park over at the right near the back of the Elak High. There's parking there and walk around. But Fort DeRussy lawn is wonderful. General Braxton Bragg was my great-great-great-grandfather. And so we have a very close connection to the Army.
Yes.
And the Army owns Fort DeRussy.
Yes. Now, you've been honored by the Army. Speaking of the Army, you were given the Resiliency Ambassador Award
Yes,
last
I
year
was very honored.
for the work the support that you've done to help the soldiers, the active duty, and the veterans and their families with the program Act Resilient, which is the program that I do. And we do laughter therapy. We get them breathing, moving around, get them up on their feet,
It was wonderful.
get them
Jean.
laughing. Laughter's the best medicine,
Oh,
right?
yes, it was wonderful, yes. I think I was very honored to be part of that, and the general.
General. You got to dance with the
was
general,
won-
right?
I danced with the general. I love to dance.
Yes.
I love to dance. Yes, it was wonderful. I was very honored, and I was very honored when the mayor of Honolulu honored
Oh
me.
yes, we got a special honor last year again for the 100-year anniversary of the Bragg Health
Yes.
mission
Yeah.
and the wonderful work, especially at Fort DeRussy, giving free exercise classes to everyone.
Yeah, well, I would like to say that my father, Paul Bragg, came to Hawaii in 1920 as a guest of Duke Kahanamoku. And the Duke and my father became like brothers. And his wife, Nadine, was my godmother, and I loved Nadine dearly. And it was wonderful that Nadine, you know how they met. She was teaching Arthur Murray classes in New York City. And Arthur came in one day and he said, "Who wants to go to Honolulu?"
Wow.
And Nadine jumped up and down. She said, "I want to go to Hawaii. I want to go." Well, listen to this.
Yeah.
So he said, "You can go, you can go." He chose 3 girls. And they opened up at, guess what, the beautiful Pink Lady.
Oh, the Pink Palace.
The
Yeah.
Pink Palace. And there they were. And the 3rd day, she got her bathing suit on and was strutting down the beach. And this big, tall, handsome man. Well, first she was looking at people balancing on a board.
Yes.
And she said, "Oh, that looked awfully difficult. Oh, my. And all of a sudden, he tapped her like that, this big, tall, handsome man. He said, "Would you like to learn to surf?" She said, "Oh, I don't think I could do that. I don't think I could do that." He said, "But I'll teach you."
Wow.
Well, a year later, she became Mrs. Duke Kahanamoku.
That's a great story.
Yes, it did.
Did
But
she ever learn to surf?
No. But she did swim every day.
Oh, that's great.
And she lived to be almost 100.
Wow.
And she was just amazing. And I loved her dearly. She used to come and spend time with me in California. And I'd take her. My godfather was Del Webb, who built everything for the Army, Navy, Marines, and all the Hilton hotels in Hawaii here. And he would invite us up to come to Las Vegas. And I'd take her up to the shows in Las Vegas.
Wow.
But I do want to say that my father helped Mr. Dillingham called my father up one day. We were at the Ilokai. And by the way, my father bought into the Ilokai when it first started. Chin Ho started the Ilokai. He did a miracle there. It was the most successful condominium hotel.
Wow.
And we had 2 apartments there. And Mr. Dillingham called my father. He said, Paul, can you help me? He said, Dad said, "What's wrong?" He said, "I can't get a loan." He said, "I've been trying to get a loan for a year." He said, "Can you help me?" I said, "Well, why don't you bring me and show me what you're talking about?"
Right.
So he came, pulled up in front of the Ilokai. Dad and I got in the car, and down we went all along, saw the land that he wanted there, where he wanted to put the Almond. He said, "I want to put the world's biggest shopping center."
Wow.
He said, "Will you help me?" He said, "Yes, I know someone with Equitable Life Insurance, Phil Kenville. Let me go call him right now."
Yes.
And by golly, Phil Kenville came the next day.
Wow.
And that next day after that, in 3 days, Mr. Dillingham had his loan.
Wow, that's amazing.
I went to see the manager of the Elmwater Shopping Center a while back. He said, "Patricia, your father did a miracle. We still have Equitable Life Insurance."
Wow.
They still, at San Francisco, they still
Wow.
do everything for the rebuilding and everything.
That's great.
So Dad brought Mr. Kaiser here. Oh, yes. And I've been nutritionist to Clint Eastwood. Guess what?
Wow.
For 55 years, just before I left to go on my, guess what?
What?
Crusade to Australia.
Yes.
He said, "Patricia, you tell everybody Clint Eastwood is going to keep making movies till he's 105.
All right.